what's up? Can you hear me? I need to pull up the chat so I can see you. Oh shit, there's a bunch of you here. Hi, hello. So I have gotten a bit of help to set up this thing so that I can live stream in a way that, I don't know, have you ever tried pointing a camera towards a TV and it looks all weird? It gets like lines and everything. So I've gotten some help and managed to set this thing up. Yeah. So I'm just gonna do the usual thing if you've been to any of the lives before, which is like the first 5 to 10 minutes or something. We're just gonna be here and wait for people that want to hop in, just so we have that done. Yeah. How about some tea? Yeah. It's a really good idea, actually. So I'm probably gonna I'm looking over here because I need to read the chat. Before, when I've done this, it's been from my MacBook, and I've been able to, you know, have like a webcam and see the chat right there. But now, since I got help to set this thing up, I need to look somewhere else. I'm looking on my phone over here. I haven't looked at the CD. We're gonna. You know, some of you could really learn something about, you know, continuity online. There's so many of you that I think I know. I think I've seen you in the Discord at some point. You know, I'm not super active there anymore, but so many of you have names that aren't the same. Someone asked, it's disappeared. No, there it is. LLS asked, what's more interesting to me, the CD or the box? I'm gonna say the box. Yeah, most definitely the box, and we'll get to it. Well, everyone's very welcome. Glad to have you. I know I'm not super active and social anymore, so it's cool to see that at least some are still seeing this through. someone asked if I'm gonna open it, and I am, or I have opened it. I'm gonna show you what's inside, but I'm gonna it's gonna be a couple of more minutes. Just making sure everyone gets in here. The lives that we've done before usually follow the same story, the same structure, I guess. We started up and I stall for 10 minutes and then we do what we gotta do. Just making sure that those that want to be here are here. And for the record, cold pizza is great. How do you reheat it? In the microwave? Sounds actually terrible. Like if you had pizza the day before and you still have pizza, I mean, eating leftover pizza, putting it in the oven, I don't know, those are two very different mindsets for me. Granted, I don't cook anything anymore, but yeah, I'm gonna give it like 2 more minutes and then is the audio level like okay? I tested it out before and it's one of those mics that, oh right, I was gonna say, I should say that right now. I am awaiting a delivery from, I ordered something online from Amazon and that's, that might get here. So if there's a knock or a ring on the door within, you know, while we do this, don't freak out. I have the camera on the door still, so I never open without checking first. So just so you know. I don't know if there's any food that anyone else eats that bother me. Usually what anyone else eats doesn't really affect. I usually just don't eat what I don't like. And then other people can eat what they enjoy, and it doesn't really bother me, but okay, should we get to it? Basically, I got up this morning for work. I decided to work from home today, and obviously both the box and the disc was just laying here, And at first I was like, well, I'll open it, you know, after work or when I feel like it, because energy is a sought after resource these days. But yeah, like I said yesterday, I felt pretty energized for the first time in like a while, and even though I was really tired when I got home yesterday, I felt decently, you know, revitalized or something around like lunch today, and I still do. I know it's not maybe super apparent, but it's a question of relativity, I guess, because yeah, there just hasn't been a lot of energy to go around lately. But so I opened it up, obviously. And I don't I don't know what to believe here. I don't know what to think, really. You're gonna yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna open it. So just give me 1 second. So okay, let's go through it in order. And I also need to find my. It was interesting last time I streamed. Some people thought I had gone bad because they saw me open one of these and put it in my mouth. Sorry to say, it's just tobacco. It's my one vice. Is that the word? Vice? And you know, other than, you know, obsessing over videotapes for 8 months. I guess that's a vice as well. Somehow. But yeah. So obviously we have this. And it says DVDRW, and I think someone said in the Discord that that's a rewritable format. So thanks for the disc, really appreciate it. If it's good, I'll stay the night next time. And then there's the question of the box. So here it is. That dude was hella sus. Yeah, but also I felt like he genuinely didn't know what was going on. At least I feel in retrospect that he was kind of agitated. I think in the moment I was just kind of freaking out because I just didn't expect that situation to go like it did. So, but in retrospect, looking back on it, like as I was subtitling it, I know some things get lost in translation when it comes to tone of voice and everything, but I don't know, I felt like he tried to regain like his posture. Like asking me if I wanted to stay the night, obviously I didn't take as a genuine proposal, and I think it kind of felt like he was trying to regain control a little bit or something. I think he was more, I don't know, scared or agitated than he was letting on a little bit. Yeah, it was awkward, but I don't know, he felt like I'm not sure, but yeah. Yeah, back to the box. The reason I'm stalling showing you the box is that I really don't know what to make of this. I mean, we're gonna find out, but again, energy has been very, very low lately, and this is me being high energy. It's hard to show, I guess, but this is, I have it right here still, sorry it's out of frame. I have it in my hand here, and I'm about to, it's, yeah, it's something, and if this, I don't know what to say, man. It's a set of all white clothes, isn't it? No. It is white. They are. Oh, fuck, man. Yeah, I'm gonna open it right now. Take one sip, see what chat says. Give me 15 seconds. Wow, you're far behind. Yeah, here we go. How do I do this? I guess I'll just well, what other way to do this than to just do this? Why did they have them? I don't know. I don't get it. it makes absolutely no sense, is the thing. Because I was under the assumption that there was going to be ten of these tapes, right? And and they're all coming from X and have been thus far, right? And then suddenly, you know, Sriracha Lane crew comes in and are just like poking around. And if these were not, you know, why would they be called 8 and 9 if they were not tape 8 and 9? But in that case, is this like them ruining the game? Like, is X good with this? You know what I mean? Like, how... They got jealous and wanted their own tapes. Sure, yes, maybe, but like, why are they called 8 and 9? That's what I'm saying. Like, nah, why would they have... So yeah, that's, you can see how much I care. I don't know where I put the fucking disc. There it is. So, this is cool and all. Honestly, I couldn't give less of a shit about this disc right now. We're obviously gonna be watching these, and then we'll finish off with the disc. So we're gonna have quite a bit of a watch party here, I guess. Yes, I took these out before. I haven't played them. I've never seen this before. I've never seen white tapes. As far as I can tell, they are pretty much identical white tapes. So we're gonna get into it. Yeah. Let me get this whole setup thing ready. I don't know if, I don't remember, it's a bit blurry, but I don't know if I showed you this TV last time. But I picked this up because it has a built-in one of these. Because as you know, I live kind of small, and I thought it would be nice to just be able to, I don't know. Turns out that's still just a hassle for me, because yeah, to stream from one of these old TVs, apparently you can't just do that with your phone in the same way, so it ended up being more work than, and carrying this fucker home was hell. And also now, you know, if we're gonna watch the DVD as well, if I even get to it. I need to hook up the old VCR anyway. Because luck would have it, it's a combined VCR DVD player. So that's good, I guess. Let me get my chair so I can sit down here and we'll... No, I can read the chat here. Getting a little cold. Let me just put a shirt on and then we'll start the tape. Sorry for taking so much time. Okay. Now I've been told to turn down the brightness a bit here because the screen is gonna be overexposed if not. Maybe like that. And I have the microphone pointed towards the TV now as well. It would be very like me to start the tapes in the wrong order, most likely. So I'm gonna make sure to double check here. So this is 8. I know it's a bit dark now, but I'm about to turn. Since the power is plugged in. There's no tape in there? No. Okay, good. Yeah, see what I'm saying? Like it looks very over. I need to probably make it even darker. This is as dark as it goes. I think this will be fine, right? And you're gonna have to tell me how the volume from the TV, like how that sounds if it's too loud. It has kind of a weak speaker. And it has no remote. So, and I might have to adjust the tracking. We'll see. Well, I think we'll just kind of go for it. Well, that's a lot clearer. Okay, I'll remember that for next time. It is not as dark in here as it looks for you now. Remember, I have the exposure turned all the way down. This is your last chance to, you know, update, if you want to update, you know, your browser or something. Or what's it called? Not update, refresh. To make sure that you're caught up, not lagging behind, or, you know, turn the quality up on the stream, because yeah. Here goes. It says number 8. Oh, you can barely tell. This is number 8. And I'll be sitting right behind here, but I'll be standing here first if I need to adjust the volume or anything. Well, SLC, show me what you got. Like, I've gone through 7 of these before. I, for some reason, still don't know what to expect, and I especially don't know what to expect right now. Cautiously excited. If you're gonna come and get me, just do it. It's been like 8 months. So, either do it or, you know, fuck off.
We want to start with thanking you for your patience throughout this entire process. It's been remarkable how composed you've managed to stay under the circumstances. We understand that you are confused, but we are finally at the point.
Hold the fuck up. I'm gonna move you closer. That's a tiny text on a tiny screen. Also, I don't fucking know if I would call this composed, but thanks, I guess. How was the audio there? Did you hear that okay? Like, did that sound decent for you? Okay. Sorry, let's get back to it. Ooh, that's a timing. Hold on. So it's Amazon. Hold on. Don't worry, don't worry. Guy just came in ready to dox me. Hello, sir. I have a package here for full name, and what's your social security number, please? Yeah. Can you give me a second? I'm just watching a haunted tape here in front of some people, so give me a second. Just watching chat to see if you're still hearing me okay and everything else. Okay, I guess you're caught up. Jesus, there's a long delay. You're like at least a minute behind me, so if I seem slow at some points, that's what that's about. Okay. Well, I'm gonna throw the question out here, and then I'm gonna wait for your response, and then I'm gonna hit play. Are we good? Is everything cool? And do you want me to play the tape again? Cool. Let me rewind a few seconds here.
H, we want to start with thanking you for your patience throughout this entire process. It's been remarkable how composed you've managed to stay under the circumstances. We understand that you are confused, but we are finally at the point where we can hopefully shine some light and explain everything for you. You have received 2 tapes from us, number 8 and number 9. As you have probably already understood by now, the consigner of these tapes is not the same as for the previous tapes you have received. We are the Sulfur Lake Committee, and steps 8 and 9 have always been attributed to us by the laws of the unknown. Now let us begin with an overview of the contents of this tape.
What the fuck is that?
Step 8, which you are currently watching, contains a brief summary of SLC's purpose, history, and goals, as well as an attempt to answer the question you've probably been asking yourself ever since this all began. What is your role in all this? Okay, you with us so far?
I guess.
Good. Let us begin.
What the fuck?
Our purpose. SLC's purpose is simple. In short, spread light upon our world and repair mistakes from the past. And before you say anything, we know this doesn't actually explain anything. But let us proceed to the next section, where things will hopefully become a bit clearer. SLC's history and goals. Allow us to be blunt and clear with you. We, the Sulfur Lake Committee, are responsible for the existence of the entity you call X. Once upon a time, long ago, further back than anyone can remember, through a mistake whose ripples are still evident today, our ancestors brought X into this world. This, of course, was not intentional, but that matters less as the results remain the same. An indescribable evil was unleashed upon a world that did not deserve it, by the hands of those who shared our name. The Dutch responsible swore not to rest until they had repaired their mistakes and returned the world to its previous state. This, however, proved a much more difficult task than anything they had previously taken on. And as the hours turned to days, the days to weeks, months, years, their lives began coming to an end, and the responsibility was passed along to, inherited by, their children. And then their children after them, and theirs after them. This went unchanged for a very long time, until eventually disaster struck. Our grandparents all perished in an accident that was considered to be the closest we have ever been to putting a stop to X's reign. And our parents in turn decided that the hunt was over. They simply reasoned it wasn't worth the risk to their or their children's lives. And furthermore, why should they be held responsible for something that their ancestors did thousands of years ago? And with that, the Sulfur Lake Committee ceased to exist.
Unless he didn't vote, right?
Until now. When our now aged parents were reached by the news of X's tracks once again starting to appear, they jointly decided to finally reveal our history to us, their children, and to let us decide for ourselves whether we wanted to pick up where they left off or simply let it go. After much deliberation internally, a decision was made. Like the phoenix, the Sulfur Lake Committee rose from the literal ashes of our grandparents. We studied what remained of the scriptures, and with the advantages of the internet, we were able to piece together things that were previously impossible, while also keeping close communication amongst ourselves, even though we, over the years, have spread out over the globe. Armed with this new knowledge, we are convinced that we will succeed where our ancestors failed, with the help of you. Your role.
My role.
Like we are sure you have asked yourself multiple times, how do you factor into this equation? Well, the short answer is, X is not able to, unassisted, do what he does. He needs someone. And this time he has chosen you.
Wait.
This has historically not been a favorable position to be in. But do not despair. As previously touched upon, we, this new iteration, if you will, of the SLC, have discovered what we are convinced is the key to the final annihilation of X. Furthermore, you are different. While we already had our suspicions, Simeon confirmed this for us. You're the one we've been waiting for. The first to have actual potential to stop X. With our help.
This is bullshit. What is
And
it?
so, here we are now. In summary, we want to destroy X, rid the world of his evil, and save your life. Since day one. But you might be asking yourself, if that's true, why the puzzles, the secrecy, the coded messages and cryptic
Actually, yes,
instructions?
exactly that.
But to explain that, we have to move on to step 9. The goals of the entity.
Is that it? Okay, what the fuck? Hold on. That's a lot. That is a lot of information. Hold on. Let me focus on something else for a second here and set the focus manually. I think I just managed to do that, but I'm not sure. If this is their responsibility, why do I have to be involved? Not that I don't want to be involved at this point. I've been, it's gone too far for me to not want to see it through now, but I don't get it. Like, I'm chosen. What if a neighbor or someone walking by found the note on the fucking sign? I mean, do you want to stop X or not? I don't know. Why is that on me to make that choice? And also, what is it? What am I stopping? What stop him from doing whatever he's doing to me? If you could give me any answers about Jay, I guess that could be. That's just it's not the door to my apartment. Rid the world of X is evil, but we never heard of him before this, so how bad is he really? Exactly. That's what I mean. Yeah, this has been happening for if this has been going on for centuries, what, he finds someone to bully for a few months. Worst case scenario, what, he kills me. That's it. Not saying that's, not bad, but is that the purpose of the SLC? To get this one, I guess, serial killer? That's the thing, though. Someone said the only difference between H and the others is his support on Discord. That's what I would have said. Up until watching that. Like, I don't know what they mean. If this has been going on since the fucking dawn of man, and at one point the entirety of the SLC, if I understood correctly, like, died. And then they picked it back up again, but this time it's different. Something, something. In what way? Didn't lose any grandparents. I mean, they're not alive, but didn't lose them in any spectacular supernatural fashion. Oh, good catch, Lisa. It did say that at some point. Oh, wait, wait. 5 was like around my age. I think he was a bit older. And his parents, so his grandparents died, and his parents decided that it wasn't worth it anymore. But now they decided to pick it up, I guess. When the word reached them or something about seeing, when they heard about, signs of X showing up again. That's my videos then, I guess. How else would they hear about it? And so someone somehow saw that, or got sent something, and then were like, oh shit, and then they decide to tell their kids, holy shit, they're just kids. I mean, they're my age, but if 5 is anything to go by, these people they're not like born and raised. They haven't done this their whole lives. They must have been informed of this whole thing within the last like 6 months, 8 months. And they were like, yeah, let's step up and do it. Dude, where are these people from? dude, in the beginning, on the that explains like a lot. In the beginning, they were still assessing the situation, they said, for a while there. And they've like fucked up a few times. Like not knowing the protocol. Not like, wasn't it a thing that they were like following some dumbass TikTok account in the beginning? People were pointing that out. I don't know why I thought, like, I met 5, but I thought they were like, you know, I was picturing these like elders. I mean, if they have the scriptures of everything, honestly, at this point, it's not, I don't doubt them. Though your mother says this makes me have a little less faith in them. Honestly, I think I feel the exact opposite after watching that. As far as I'm concerned, they have been very cryptic. And I still don't understand why they wouldn't just tell me this like a good while ago. But they're literally saying our goal since day one is to save your life, basically. And if there's one thing that I've gathered, I haven't gathered a lot, X doesn't seem to be the chillest dude. And if their goal is to like make up for some mistake that their family or like ancestors did by putting him into this world, and they're like, you know, stepping up to do that, and they were very upfront saying this has not been a great, like the position you're in has historically not been great to be in. They're not like saying, you know, oh, everything is peaches. Yeah, I agree with Meg. Why tapes? I mean, we know for a fact that X hasn't only used tapes. I don't know why he does, but we know he used novels before, right? And if they are, you know, if they are, for some reason these 2 steps are theirs. Maybe they just have to like go with whatever the other steps are, kinda. Oh, TV died. Talked for too long. Holy shit. Well, we have another one, so. that contains so much more. Sorry, I'm like I know I've just been like talking and you've only watched like static on a screen for 20 minutes or something, but that was a whole lot of information. And I have not, I think, really processed really what this means, or because I'm not feeling positive, but I'm not feeling like, oh, that's awful, like that makes me feel bad. I'm not really feeling honestly, thus far this is mostly positive news. I know that a lot of the information maybe specifically isn't good, but you know how many months someone could have literally told me, yes, this whole entity thing that's kind of fucking up your life, that's John Wayne Stacy, and it's his spooky ghosts, and he hates you. Like, I don't know what to make up anything, and no matter what is exactly going on, just the fact that I got like some sort of history of these clowns, and also, yeah, I feel this is good, really, honestly, thus far. Dude, what was the name of step 9? What did she say at the end? So we're gonna have like okay, that's really, yeah, very obviously things are hitting me one realization by one. That's a really scary prospect to play this tape, honestly. If that's, I don't know if I, like, you know, the information that, if they're just gonna tell me now, you know. Let's do it. Let's just do it. Okay. Fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, my tea's cold, okay. Here we go. Shit. Yeah, here we go.
Nine. The goals of the entity. Welcome to the next step. In this tape, we will try to answer some of the questions that you and your friends probably have regarding the entity you call X. Unfortunately, we will not be able to answer every single one, but we have promised you answers, and we will do our utmost to give it to you. Before we begin, we want to point out the following. SLC does not attribute any gender to X. By all accounts, it does not have one. But for the sake of simplicity and understandability during this tape, we will refer to X with the pronoun he. This is also based on the fact that the majority of his physical forms have been assigned males at birth. Now let us begin. This tape will consist of 8 chapters. Each chapter beginning indicated by these characters and the name of the chapter. The chapters are intended to break down and summarize different aspects of X. Please watch the whole tape before drawing any conclusions, as the understanding of one chapter may depend on the understanding of another. X's history. In step 8, we touched on our own story, and although it pains us to say, our own history is deeply intertwined with the history of X. When our ancestors, in an attempt to rid the world of evil, performed a ritual uncovered from ancient scripts, they did not know that the banishing of the evil spirit, in fact, was the opposite of what they were doing. Whether this was due to a misunderstanding of the scriptures, or somehow planted by X, we might never know. But the ritual happened, and an evil, imprisoned by powers unknown in a timeless prison, locked out from our world, unable to cause its devastation here, was unintentionally set free. Ergo, X has always existed. But for a long time he was imprisoned, in the emptiness, until he wasn't anymore. Once the bottle's cork was open, it was already too late. He spread. X's goal. Why do squirrels climb trees? Why do fish swim? Why does man suffer? Throughout the centuries, great thinkers have tried to answer these questions. Both reasonable and less so reasonable theories have been presented. But in the end, it always comes back to a similar conclusion. It's in their nature. There is no explanation, logic, rhyme, or reason behind it. It is simply how things are. This also applies to X. So untangling the motivations of X becomes not a question of why, but rather a question of what. It would be an easy assumption to conclude that what you have been exposed to by X is his ultimate purpose. And although we are fully aware that this has not been an easy experience for you, we ask you to believe us when we say, if only that were so. But it isn't. Unfortunately, it holds much more than that. Long before any of you knew of the first tape, long before you even knew anything of each other's existence, before you talked, shared memories, became friends, helped each other, you had all met X. You have all seen him, not in H's videos, in your everyday life. Have you ever walked alone down a street, convinced that someone was following you, only to be met with nothing but the same pavement, same street lights and house walls when you turned around? Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night from a nightmare, and even though you're fully aware that it was merely a dream, been unable to let go of the feelings it infused in you? Have you ever listened to the phone line seemingly endless beeping in your ear without an answer, convinced that the one you love at the other end will never answer you again? Then you have met X. He is the shadow in the corner of your eye as you walk through a stranger's house. He is the impenetrable darkness during what feels like the 10,000th lonely night in a row in your bed. When you're in the shower, eyes closed to shampoo your hair, he is the figure you imagine will stand in front of you when you open your eyes again. He's the bottom of the Mariana Trench, high above Mount Everest. It is simply his nature. X's limitations. X is also bound by forces unknown. Would he not be, there would have been no emptiness in the first place, for he loathes it. Much like you, he loathes being there and longs for our world. X has a number of rules to abide by. The most obvious and perhaps most significant limitation is the effect that the physical world has on X. X was never meant to wander our Earth. He is an uninvited guest here, and his physical form cannot handle it. That is why he, as we mentioned in step 8, needs someone to bind him to us, someone to act as a bridge between the emptiness and us, a person, someone to enchant, manipulate, and finally completely consume. But once he has succeeded in this, another problem arises. The human body is unable to bear this form of pure evil, and therefore erodes at a faster rate, from the moment the fusion begins. This means that at regular intervals, when his current bridge begins to decay, X must find a new one, because without a body, he would once again be banished and locked to the emptiness. So how does this process work? The steps. X's procedure is divided into a number of steps. You can probably guess how many. The exact content of each step isn't 100% consistent between the different cases, with some exceptions. But here is a brief overview. Steps 1 and 2 are usually dedicated to identifying the right kind of person. This should be a naturally driven and curious person, someone who notices things, sees what others would miss. Once a suitable victim has been identified, steps 3 and 4 are spent entangling and manipulating the victim, preying on their curiosity and need to see things through. Step 5, the midpoint, is when X makes his final decision as to whether this is a suitable victim or whether the process must begin again with someone else. Unfortunately, by now the victim is usually strongly influenced or even obsessed by the allure of trying to understand and get to the bottom of what is happening to them. Step 6 is usually a continuation of the breakdown of the victim, albeit somewhat intensified. Through manipulation and control over the victim's life, a sort of relationship based on dependency develops, disguised as an enmity between them. It is not uncommon for the victim to be robbed of his hobbies, family, friends, job, and social security net during this, all replaced with the allure of a metaphorical gold at the end of the rainbow, a vague promise that everything will be explained if they just remain persistent. Step 7 marks X's last full-force attempt to completely put his victim in a position of dependency, as he is well aware of what steps 8 and 9 will entail. Step 8. X falls into silence, no longer allowed access to his victim. We, the SLC, are given space to explain who we are. Step 9. The SLC are, again, allowed space to explain what we know about X. And then finally, step 10, where the final metamorphosis between X and his victim is meant to take place. If successful, the victim is then divided into two, large parts of their current personality expelled from their physical body, cursed to spend the rest of eternity in the emptiness. What is left of them inside their physical form are only the parts that are willing to work with, help, and merge with X. With that, X gets a new bridge between the emptiness and our world, but he also changes. The remaining pieces of the victim are infused into X. In this way, recognizable signs of the victim live on within X's personality, like their memories, which X can then use to lure his next victim when the time comes to start the procedure all over again. All these steps, these rules, cannot be broken, as they have been dictated by the powers unknown. The powers unknown. So what are these powers unknown we keep referencing? Well, some call it God. Others call it the universe, karma, even science. These are simply the rules that all living beings must abide by. As given as the fact that the sun goes down in the evening, these rules will be followed. Despite what you might think, the Sulfur Lake Committee has chosen not to call it God, but to instead simply explain as exactly what it is, the force of a power unknown to us. The riddles and puzzles. You all know the idea of a jinx. That is the concept that if you allow the awful and wicked to be put into words, the perceived probability that the awful and wicked will occur increases. As rational people, we all understand that this, most likely, has no bearing whatsoever. But have you ever stopped and asked yourself how almost every culture on every continent throughout all of history bears this exact same superstition? An instinct that you and those you love Run the risk of experiencing what you fear the most by simply saying it out loud, or even thinking about it too much. Topics such as death, poverty, grief, and mental illness are waved off with phrases such as, "Let's not get caught up in it," or "We don't talk about that." Suppose that the worst kind of malevolence you can imagine actually does get stronger by people spending their time and energy discussing, theorizing, and fantasizing about it. If so, would you not then say that said malevolence would have benefited from, instead of concisely doing what it set out to do, instead create reasons to spend time on it, like complicated puzzles, for example? Puzzles that one person, but sometimes in a stroke of sheer luck, thousands of people, spend large parts of their time on. Say that it also aims to manipulate and control one of these people's lives, a person specifically chosen for their curiosity. Would that not pose for yet another motivation for this malevolence? Throughout our conversations, we have, by hiding behind codes and challenges, outwardly come across as if we are doing the exact same thing as he is doing. We are not blind to this. But what you hopefully now understand is that we've deliberately redirected your attention and energy from him to us. By replacing his ciphers and cryptic writings of loneliness and loss of power with reminders of your beautiful lives, dreams, and memories, we have effectively held him from growing even stronger. We would also like to take this opportunity to thank you for sharing said dreams and memories with us. Every time the world seems to lose its color, we look to your beautiful words and feel strengthened. Our plan. So with all this knowledge, what is the plan going forward? The same as it's always been, to defeat X. We have previously mentioned that the strategies of our ancestors, despite their good intentions, were based on incomplete information. We have, with joint efforts, managed to sift through all that remains of the scriptures and records of previous cases, gotten rid of the outdated superstitions and beliefs of our ancestors, and finally figured out exactly how X can be destroyed. However, despite the fact that you most likely consider us an outdated cult, far disconnected from reality, we are well aware of James Bond and his villains. We will not disclose in excruciating detail the steps of our big plan, and thus reveal exactly how to best avoid it actually succeeding. He hears us. He sees us. You know this by now. We are very sorry to have to keep yet another secret from you, but hopefully you can now understand why we must. Through these 2 tapes, we hope to have gained some semblance of the trust you previously lacked for us. What now? It's quite simple, H. All you have to do is keep your sanity. Deep breaths. Spend time with friends and family whenever you can. At this point, it's useless to try to ignore him, but try not to get too lost in his puzzles. The 9th step will be over by the end of this tape. In the not-too-distant future, there will come a day when you are led to the end of all of this. There's one last piece of information we did not tell you about X's limitations. We believe and hope that it will give you some sense of security. When you stand there before him during the last excruciating minutes of the 10th step, he cannot kill you. In the moment it might feel like it, but we guarantee he cannot take your body. The metamorphosis cannot happen unless you have given your consent. If he could do this, he would not have needed the 10 steps to mold you into the person he wants to stand before him, accepting his proposition. So when you finally get the question, the answer is simply no. Unfortunately, we know from experience that this is considerably easier said than done. But you are not alone. You have your friends, your followers, and you have us. And whatever he says, whatever he tries to make you believe, you will not be standing there alone. Do not forget, we have a plan. All you have to do is stay calm, persevere, and then finally say no. We believe in you, H. We would wish you good luck, but you do not need it.
Remind me why we didn't trust these people before. So by just talking, like about him and about all of it, and not even that, just by thinking, spending time on it, creating documents, separate Discord chat rooms, voice calls. Well, fight. You have no. So someone says you have no energy because it took it from you. Fight to get it back. Well, what I don't fucking understand is, how the fuck do you do that? With something that gets that feeds off of thinking about it. How the fuck do you not think about the thing? That you're fighting. If that's the plan. Yeah, let's not talk about it. Great. Or what? This makes no sense. You know what makes no fucking sense though? Okay, so these fucking these fucking powers unknown, right? If they are capable of, like, he listens, he cares, okay? So he cares about what they say. They go, yeah, hey, you gotta, shut the fuck up for a little while now, you gotta let the SLC talk for a little while, and he's just like, yes, this makes sense to me, I'm an evil entity from the fucking Bronze Age or some shit, and yes, that makes a lot of sense, I'll just shut the fuck up for a little while, right? Okay, so say he does that. I don't know what that means, I don't know why he would do that, but if we assume that he does that, because that is what they say, then what the fuck is this? You're like, break the disc, throw the disc away. This is not him in that case. How could this be him then? He's not allowed. Then he would have been talking to us this entire time. This entire step would have been him talking to us. Why would he just wait for them to fill you in on how to stop him? I mean, well, why would he care if I say yes or no? Obviously he does. By some sort of, yes, this is the logic to the supernatural world, I guess. This is what things are. You can't break these rules. You're allowed to do this, but then you gotta ask if it's okay. Or you're allowed to do this, but then you gotta have these people step in and give the person a chance to understand what's going on. So obviously there are some fucking bullshit rules that neither X or the SLC has any power over. Well, then why am I at a goddamn boat getting a DVD? Like, what's... Nixo says maybe it's a law of nature type of thing you can't occupy. Yes. And sorry, I'm trying to fucking keep up. He could have taken you at any time. Why? No, he couldn't have. Apparently. That's what I've been saying this whole time. Ever since like day fucking 1. I've been like, well, you know, if you want to do some shit, why doesn't he just do it? Obviously that's why. Did I rewind past the point where they explain the fucking powers unknown? Is that before the list? I missed it, didn't I? Is it... Do I need to go forward to find the fucking powers unknown bullshit? No, that was the steps. The counting backwards thing. Well, I did miss it. I need to go forward, but... Here we go.
So what are these powers unknown we keep referencing? Well, some call it God. Others call it the universe, karma, even science. These are simply the rules that all living beings must abide by. As given as the fact that the sun goes down in the evening, these rules will be followed. Despite what you might think, the Sulfur Lake Committee has chosen not to call it God, but to instead simply explain as exactly what it is, the force of a power unknown to us.
Yeah, well, okay.
The riddles and puzzles.
Yeah, fuck off. So that's what that is. It's just rules The same way, I guess, that if I drop this, it falls to the fucking floor, right? So it's a rule. It's like logic. It's nature, I guess. That's the way I'm supposed to read that. And what the fuck is that disc? No, I don't think Jay wasn't real. I don't think Jay's part of the SOC either. I refuse to believe that. Got some fucking Oscar nominee type bullshit. No. I spoke to him privately several times. We wrote, we were on the phone before the stream, we sent emails, we talked in chat over Discord after we had talked on stream. No. We've been walking around saying that the SLC are these cult members that, oh fucking we can't trust them, this and that bullshit, fuck them, and then it turns out, oh yeah, they're here to save my life. And now we say, oh no, yeah, Jay was probably like an actor out to fuck with you. No. Obviously he fucking wasn't. Have you seen the stream? Did you see him talk about his like mother's cancer? Yes, I know he disappeared. Trust me. I've noticed. I don't think he's a pawn. X was doing this to his dad. X was just doing exactly everything that's happening to me to his dad. We know this. And we also know now that historically this is not a favorable position to be in. Fucking obviously. Because riddle me this, if this has been going on for 1,000 years, what's different now? Oh, it's different because it's me? He should have never reached out to me. That's his crime. That's what he did wrong. He lost his dad, and then he got fucked himself because he reached out to me because he wanted to know what happened to his dad. That's what that is. I don't want to hear anyone talk shit about Jay again. I have help. What is that help? If not spending time thinking about something that becomes stronger from thinking about it. Look, I'm not being ungrateful here, but this is new information, right? What is the help? Is it not the exact opposite? They would have said. Obviously they would have said that by now. If SLC had Jay, obviously they would have said that now. Why wouldn't they? We have no reason to distrust them at this point. They have just answered 99.9% of every question I've been asking myself for the last 8 months. They don't have Jay. If they did, they would have said so. That's not what they said. They didn't say he gets stronger from fear. They said he gets stronger from attention, basically. From thinking about him, from worrying about him. From discussing, from spending time. It's like a fucking leech. He didn't take Jay the way he wants to take me, right? He attacked Jay. There's nothing they said indicates that he can't do bad shit. Quite the opposite. They said that's what he does. He scares you, he creates chaos, he does all these fucking source of all evil bullshit things. And Jay was in the way. If his plan was to kill me, he could have done it any time. But that's not... That's not what he wants. He could have killed me, you, Jay, fucking anyone. At any point. There's no natural law about that. There's a natural law about how he goes through this process. Every fucking 30 years or whatever it is. You guys know, you have all the screenshots and everything. It's this thing that has rules. This process that he needs to do every 30 years to survive. And in between that, I guess he's just doing whatever's in his nature. No, he could kill me. He could do that right now if he wanted to, but that's not what he wants. Obviously, anyone could kill anyone. If this timeless, subhuman, superhuman entity couldn't kill anyone, it would be a pretty shitty fucking entity. Doing its job of spreading evil. No, yeah, but he can't murder. Fucking of course he can. But every fucking 30 years or whatever, this bullshit happens. And in some fucked up law of Darwinism or some shit, he might fail to get a new bridge. And since he doesn't want to fail, make me go through these steps in the exact way he wants me to do that, he'll stop for nothing, I guess. Obviously. Here you go. Where's the DVD? I'm turning the stream off.